y'all. Greetings, freaking greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I am your hostess, y'all, and your melanated queen. I'm reporting to you live and direct on school grounds. I'm sitting in my car. It's the end of the week. We have Let me see. We got about 3.5 more hours before we're out of here. If you hear screaming in the background, those are the children. They're at recess, y'all. Um, I'm dealing with kindergarten today. Of course, I had to guard myself. Mask on, effing mask off. Hey, yeah, we got to guard ourselves. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting a text message coming through. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. This is just a little Friday check in. I don't know what y'all are doing. Y'all might be on y'all lunch breaks. Really, this is the time where I should be eating lunch. Thank God for the snack machine. Thank God for Cheez Its, okay? And the fact that I actually brought my grapes with me and some apple juice. That's all I had for lunch today. I was going to actually go out and get lunch, but I'm like, even though I get about an hour, during this time, I don't even feel like going out dealing with all that discombobulation and traffic and then trying to rush back here. So I'm just going to wait until I leave here to actually eat lunch, y'all, which is not going to be until after 4 p.m. to be exact. So my Cheez Its hopefully will, get me through. And I have a little bit more change in case I need to go to the snack machine again, y'all. That little thing of Cheez Its cost me $1.25. Yeah, I'm looking for my lip stuff and I can't find it. Oh, it's just so irritating. Because I like to refresh my lips throughout the day, and I don't even know. Like, it's hard digging through here looking for all this stuff. Y'all let me know how your day is going. How have you been doing? Let me see. You find stuff when you're not looking for it, but the stuff that you're looking for, you never find it, right? I want to give a shout out to all my new subscribers, y'all. Like, I'm out of my Mary Kay lip gloss. This is my favorite, Pink Wink. I'm out of it. And so I need to get more of that. Um, it's just like I can never have enough of it. How are y'all doing today? When I got in here, it said that it was 90. I'm sorry, not 90. It said it was 77 degrees, y'all. So I don't know if that's accurate or not because, I'm in the parking lot and the vehicle's getting direct heat. I don't know if that's really accurate, but it said 77 degrees. So I'm about to tap on my phone, my other phone, and check the temperature. What is the temperature like where you are? How is your day going where you're located? All right, I just had to connect my other phone real quickly. Yeah, they said I'm out of data, but that's okay. Let's see, 64. It says it's 64 degrees right now, and it's supposed to get up to 66 by 3 p.m. today. So basically, we're gonna have almost another 70 degree weather day, and I can't complain with that, y'all. I'm just enjoying every bit of it. Every little bit I'm enjoying. Okay, we have a visitor in the parking lot. This looks like a parent coming to pick up a child. Oh yeah, so basically what's going on is early release time. So parents are coming up here to get their children. Please get these little hoodlums out of here. The more the merrier that leaves, y'all. That's how I feel. Who gonna check me, boo? Who gonna check me, boo? Ah. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna do F Your Feelings Friday tonight or not. I'll see. Tomorrow, I think I had planned on going to a realtor event. We'll see if I make it. But Sunday, I do have an open house, you all. So I'm gonna try to go live and post a video for that if I can. But yeah, I got my handy dandy apple and Eve 100% apple juice. They say this is 100%. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that's 100% apple juice, to be honest with you. The best way is to juice yourselves, juice whatever you have yourselves. So, we last, what's that? Oh, that's them. That's their vehicle is beeping. So we last left off talking about the Trumpster, y'all. Is that what's on your mind today? Because it's really not what's on my mind today. It really is not. I'm just on here because I wanted to talk to y'all because I have a little break. It says, my cat Dolphy watched with me and then started purring too. That is so cute. Yeah, I posted a video of my cat and she was lying in my lap and she started purring. Oh, cats are something else, y'all. They have such a an interesting dynamic when it comes to humans, when it comes to like their telepathy with human beings and how they connect with us, their sensory with humans. They are very, very like connected and tapped in with us, y'all. Very tapped in. So, for anybody out there, if you're not a cat lover, if you're scared of having a cat, don't be scared of having a cat because cats really do love their human beings. You said, free the R. Seems like you're ready. I know that's right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Free R. Kelly, y'all. Seems like you're ready. Girl, I know you're ready tonight. Yes, indeed. Seems like you're ready. Girl, I hope you're ready. Man, why they lock that man up? R&B has never been the same since they locked him up. I mean, I think we're getting through with Diddy being back, behind, well, being back there where he's at. But R. Kelly, man, we need R. Kelly. The industry needs R. Kelly. And the messed up part is how everybody turned their back on him, acted like they're not affiliated with him, not associating with him, don't care about the fact of what he's going through. That tells you how wicked and how evil this entertainment industry is. Very selfish. Seems like you're ready. Girl, I hope you're ready. Mm-mm. I have a deep respect for teachers out here that have to go through this day in and day out for year and at no end at a time. I have a deep respect for them. Let me set my timer, y'all. I'm gonna set it for 35 minutes. I got a little bit longer than that. I'm gonna go pick them up from PE. Shout out to the specials teachers that deal with these children day in and day out, all day, every day. Hashtag no days off. I really commend y'all for what y'all do. I commend the people that volunteer. So I am hearing that the ICE people are supposed to be coming here. North Carolina leaders react to Border Patrol coming to Charlotte. So they're saying that, thank you for the like, by the way. They're saying that ICE Border Patrol agents were headed to Charlotte, North Carolina, and could arrive as soon as the weekend, the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office said Thursday. Two separate federal offices told Mecklenburg, what's good, King Hazy? Two separate federal offices told Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden that U.S. Border Patrol agents were being sent to Charlotte, the sheriff's office said on Thursday, November the 13th. The federal agents could reach the city as soon as Saturday, November 15th. That's tomorrow or earlier the following week. It says specific details regarding the federal operation had not been disclosed. Officials said Thursday. The sheriff's office also said it had been asked to help with any enforcement actions. Like, what are they trying to prove? What's going on? Because I spoke with a lady in from Argentina a few weeks ago. She said that ICE was at the Aldi's at the local grocery store around here, not too far from where we lived. It says WBTV reached out to Mayor V. Lyle's office, Charlotte City Council members, and congressmen to get their reaction to the Border Patrol coming to Charlotte. Today, the sheriff's office confirmed that Border Patrol will be in Charlotte conducting operations. What type of operations are they conducting? This is what I want to know. You see how they talk in code as early as this weekend and potentially into next week. We still don't know any details on where they may be operating and to what extent. I understand this news will create uncertainty and anxiety or many people in our for many people in our community. Everyone in our community deserves to feel secure. So apparently they've sent out letters and emails to parents of these migrant children because of the border patrol and because of ICE agents, y'all, and they're scared they might be entering into the schools. But I don't think that they're allowing them to come into the schools that I've heard of. I did see on the news that they did pull parents out of the carpool line when they were dropping off their children. So, like, I think a couple of people got deported or detained. I want to say not deported, but they got detained from the carpool line when they were dropping off their children, y'all. It says, it's not, it's just crazy. Everyone in our community deserves to feel secure, and I am committed to doing all that I can do to inform our community, help make sure everyone feels safe and understand their rights. It is also important, y'all, and there are a lot of migrants out here. There are a lot of migrants all over the place. It says it is important that people understand that CMPD, Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, is not involved in federal immigration activities. So people who need local law enforcement services should feel secure in calling 911, y'all. There continues to be rumors about enforcement activities, and I would ask that everyone refrain from sharing unverified information. Doing so creates more fear and uncertainty when we need to be standing together, they said. We will continue to work with local and state partners to do what we can to ensure the safety of our community. Here's what Congresswoman Alma Adams has to say about this topic. I am extremely concerned about the deployment of U.S. Border Patrol and ICE agents to Charlotte, said Congresswoman Adams. Charlotte's immigrant community, and it's a lot of them, let me just tell y'all, it's a mass amount of them, is a proud part of the Queen City, and I will not stand by and watch my constituents be intimidated or harassed, she says. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, and what we have seen Border Patrol and ICE agents do in places like Chicago and Los Angeles, using excessive force in their operations and tear gassing peaceful protesters, threatens the well being of the communities they enter. And I have seen people out on the streets protesting, y'all. Those tactics and values have no place in the city of Charlotte or Mecklenburg County. Rep, uh, Rep, Rep Adams remains in contact with local, state, and federal leaders as well as immigration activists in the 12th district to ensure fair and appropriate treatment of her constituents and the proud immigrant community that calls Charlotte home, y'all. All right, Congressman Tim Moore supports efforts by the Department of Homeland Security to keep our communities safe. All right. Make America great again. He has full confidence in our federal law enforcement partners and appreciates their ongoing work to uphold the rule of law and protect the people of North Carolina, y'all. That's what's going on. ICE is coming to Charlotte. And so they are already on their way here, y'all. There's already talk of the ICE people coming to Charlotte as we speak. Have y'all experienced any encounters with ICE in your community? Let me know what's been going on where you are. Let me know. Type it up in the chat section, y'all. How has things been going on in your city, your state, or wherever you reside? Maybe you're not from America or in America. More than likely, if you're watching right now, you're probably in America. You, You said they're getting ready to hit Baltimore too? Are you serious? I didn't hear about Baltimore. Let me look that up. Hold on. B Moore's in the house. Let me look up Baltimore. Baltimore ICE agents. So I guess they're okay. So I guess they're setting their sights on certain cities at one time. I'm gonna look up Baltimore ICE agents. See what they say for Baltimore. Take my sunshades up a bit so I can see. Okay, it says council member says ICE agent grabbed her as she filmed agents detaining a person in Adelphi. Uh-oh, 1 week ago, contract proposals show possible increase in ICE presence coming to Baltimore. So it sounds like they've already come to Baltimore and they're trying to increase their presence, King Hazy. That's what it looks like. Okay, so they are. Baltimore County removed from list of sanctuary jurisdictions. What? So Baltimore was a sanctuary city and it has now been removed from the list of sanctuary jurisdictions after agreement to work with ICE. Did you know that, King Hazy? Baltimore is agreeing to work with ICE. Baltimore County was removed from the Justice Department list of sanctuary jurisdictions after signing an agreement to collaborate with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Despite restrictions from state leadership, Baltimore County has shown a willingness to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. Okay, Associate Attorney General Stanley Woodward said in a statement, "This is a small step toward restoring public safety, and we appreciate the county's commitment to updating its policies." You said they are going at all the governors and mayors who have sanctuary and who are suspected in election fraud? Really? The change comes nearly 3 months after County Executive Kathy Klausmeyer said the county was erroneously included in the list. In August, she said county officials would be reaching out to the Department of Justice to correct the mistake. So you're saying they were involved in election fraud. I didn't know Charlotte was involved in election fraud. I didn't hear about that. So ICE is definitely they're not stopping, even though allegedly they're saying that the shutdown has ended. It sounds like they're still partaking with these ICE, you know, projects that's going on around the globe, well, around America. Yeah, I know about that. They suspected to be setting up facilities in Maryland. I guess ICE ain't playing, y'all. They're not playing. Y'all be careful wherever you are. Just be careful. Let me see if I can find any more information on it. Hold on, y'all. Oh, yeah, we gotta go back. I gotta go back in here and finish trying to go over math with a bunch of kindergartners. I know they are ready to go home. When they come back from PE, they've already had lunch. First, they had recess, then they had lunch, which I don't understand why they have recess at 10 a.m., y'all. That's craziness to me. Then they had lunch. That was over at 11. We went back to the classroom. Now they're in PE. Do you think they're going to want to come back and do math or anything else? No, they're not. All right. ICE and Charlotte. Let's see. U.S. Border Patrol agents to be deployed. Here it is. Here it is, y'all. I still got some congestion going on.
First, we do start with breaking news here. Charlotte will be the next city where Border Patrol will begin an immigration enforcement operation. That's according to a Department of Homeland Security official speaking with NBC News. This is a story we first broke during our live Impact News stream on WCNC Plus. Now, the exact timing of this has not been announced, but it should follow Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino leaving Chicago sometime this week. This will be the first city that Border Patrol will spearhead an operation without coordinating with ICE in the same location.
Hold up. They said this is the first city where Border Patrol will not be spearheading with ICE. What does that exactly mean? Are they going to be able to make their own decisions without corresponding with one another? Let me hear that again.
That Border Patrol will spearhead an operation without coordinating with ICE in the same location. And although ICE has made arrests here, the agency was not coordinating with Border Patrol. This is a developing story, and WCNC Charlotte will bring you more information as we learn more.
Okay. So they're saying Border Patrol is actually going to be acting separately from ICE. That's what it sounded like I heard. Let me know your thoughts. What did you hear? All right, and then yeah, so they're talking about it. Judge orders release of hundreds of people detained by ICE. This was in Chicago one day ago, y'all.
New reports now claim that Charlotte is Border Patrol agents' next stop following clashes with protesters and thousands of arrests in Chicago. Well, Queen City News chief political correspondent Andy Weber now joins us in the studio. So, Andy, what do we know right now about a deployment to the Queen City? Well, Alicia, at this point, very little. CNN and CBS News report that some of the Border Patrol teams in Chicago right now could be diverted to Charlotte. This would be different from ICE, who already carries out targeted apprehensions here in the Charlotte area. These scenes in Chicago have made national headlines the past few weeks. Chicago residents clashing with teams of Border Patrol agents as they rounded up people believed to be in the country illegally. The operations, in a word, have been controversial. These raids are meant to be provocative. They are trying to incite chaos. They have their freedom back and their safety, and that's exactly what the American people voted for in the 2024 election. Now there's new word that at least some of those agents could be deployed to Charlotte as their work winds down in Chicago. Citing unnamed U.S. officials, CNN and CBS News are reporting that at least some of those teams will be moved to the Queen City. CBS News also said that Border Patrol could arrive sometime this month, with the operation being dubbed Charlotte's Web. In a statement to Queen City News, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin would not comment on the reporting, saying, quote, every day DHS enforces the laws of the nation across the country.
Hi there, Kamak Kishore. Have you had any encounter with ICE in your city or Border Patrol? Because it sounds like they're moving from city to city. I know that they were in Chicago. I just heard that they are in Baltimore, but they're supposed to be, I guess, sending more of them out there to Baltimore. And apparently, in Charlotte, they're going to be having ICE agents and the Border Patrol acting separately. So it's very interesting what's going on all across the country.
Do not discuss future or potential operations. Charlotte area Republican Congressman Tim Moore says he was unaware of any planned Border Patrol deployments, but that he supported their work. I'm very proud of what these men and women who are doing to keep our border secure and to remove dangerous folks from our community and other communities around the country. Via text, a spokesperson for the city said Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles was unavailable for comment. We need to reach out to Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden, who has criticized ICE operations in the past. A spokesperson tells me they're working on a statement regarding this new reporting on Border Patrol.
Queen City News Plus. It sounds, you know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like they are targeting people that they think that illegally crossed the border and have settled into these cities. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know what y'all thoughts are about it, but that's what it sounds like to me, y'all. So I guess they're not playing. They're going to be definitely pinpointing, targeting certain areas. And they said Border Patrol will be acting separately instead of spearheading with ICE agents. So whatever that means, you can interpret it as you will. But this is going to be an interesting weekend, y'all. So even though the shutdown has allegedly ended, now you have ICE and Border Patrol still going on in certain cities, and it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon. And then as far as the shutdown is concerned, that's temporary because they said this is only put into place until January of 2026, which is going to expire around January the 30th, y'all. So there we have it again. People still don't know what's going to happen in the near future. But one thing we can't do and what we're not going to do is worry ourselves, because we're going to make it regardless, right? We're going to find a way in this country, whether in the country or whether people leave the country. And you have a lot of Americans leaving this country right now because they're tired of the antics. They are tired of the financial, just the financial currency here, how it's been very off kiltered, off centered, um, how the dollar has been basically made to be little of no value at this point. Not saying it's not valuable, but we can clearly see what's going on. So a lot of people feel like their American dollars can go further in other countries, such as Mexico is one where a lot of Americans are moving to certain parts of Mexico, y'all. And if you've never seen like the currency from Mexico being converted to American dollars, or American dollars being converted over into Mexican dollars or their currency, oh, your money will stretch probably twice as much as it does in Mexico. There was actually this Mexican guy. He showed me one of his Western Unions when he was having money sent over there, and I took a picture and I have it on my phone. I think he sent like, I want to say $2,000. It might have been like $2,000, and that was like 4,000 for the Mexicans. I have to look. I don't know what their currency is there, but I'll have to look. Is it pesos? I have to look back at my phone and pull my pictures so I can find it for y'all. But yeah, very interesting, y'all. Very interesting. Just right here, y'all. It feels so good right now. It feels so good out here. I feel like this should be the end of the day for the children. I feel like we should be going home right now, because I don't know who wants to sit in school on this beautiful day all this time until, I think they release at 4 p.m. today. That's kind of late. There are some schools that don't get out until 4:45 p.m. Why in the world are kindergartners getting out at 4:45 p.m.? Yeah, I don't know. Somebody please answer that question. Why are children getting out at almost 5 p.m. on a freaking school day? That's a whole work day. Y'all, they have children coming home off the bus in the dark, and they said it's a short, somebody told me it was a shortage. One of my clients, he when he moved from Jersey, he was going to apply to be a bus driver. He said it was a shortage of bus drivers, which is why children are coming home in the dark. I guess because bus drivers have to make double routes. I hope that's not true, y'all. And if that's the case, they need to pay bus drivers more, because who in the world wants to maneuver through traffic listening to all that freaking noise on the bus? I remember when we lived in Germany, they had bus monitors on the bus. So people would actually, like other adults, they would have like another adult on the bus. So we would not just be on the bus by ourselves, causing a whole bunch of ruckus. Now, not all the time, but some parents would volunteer to be bus monitors, y'all. And they would ride home with the children on the bus. And sometimes they would ride to the school with the people on the bus, the children on the bus. And yeah, we had like our buses were kind of like fancy and stuff. We had bathrooms on our bus. We had a TV, a coffee maker. We had, the bus driver, his name was Uva. He used to play the radio. We used to listen to Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer back in the day. We used to put our requests in. Oh yeah, our bus used to be jumping. Everybody used to like riding our bus. We used to have the best bus. And Uva had like one of those fancy buses. We didn't ride like one of these regular jailhouse buses. No, we had like a bus, like buses that people actually go and travel out of town in. We had those type of buses just to go to school in, y'all. That's what we rode around in. And then for like when we took field trips, we had double-decker buses. Double-decker buses. Good afternoon, Lonesome Dove. So on the double-decker buses, you have the first layer, and then you walk up the stairs and you have the top layer, like you have like a second floor to the bus. That's what we had when we went on field trips. And y'all, every time I got assigned to a group, I always wanted to be on the double-decker top tier, the top level. I never got to sit on the top level bus of the bus. I never got to sit on the second level. Never, not once. It was so messed up, y'all. I wish I could get on a double decker bus. Do they still make those? I don't even know if they still have double decker buses. Y'all let me know in the comment section, because I always wanted to experience that, y'all. We used to take field trips to like the cathedrals. They have a lot of historic buildings in Germany, in Europe. They preserve a lot of their history. They have castles. We used to go visit their castles, castles in the mountains. They have this place called the Heidelberg Mountains. We've been there. And then they also had like these really fancy cathedrals from back in the day. They look beautiful on the inside. We went to see just different places. Y'all, we were going on field trips all the time. It was so much to see, y'all. We went to the zoos. We just, we did a lot. Um, it was quite peaceful over there. I definitely, definitely, definitely would go back. I definitely would. Yeah, I really would. I would highly suggest don't be scared about what people tell y'all about different countries, like they don't like melanated people. That's not the case. If you really go and experience a lot of these places, they are not worried about melanated people like that. They really push this racial war issue here in America. They really push race here in America because they know that they can capitalize off of it. They know that a lot of people feed into it and they can keep the people divided and divisive over here. But really, people are not thinking about all of that for real, for real. Not to that magnitude, y'all. Not to that magnitude. Let me see. I got about 5, 10, 15, maybe like 20 more minutes before it's time to go get these children. How are y'all doing today? How's your day coming along? Yeah, we got almost a 70-degree day today. It is November the 14th. Friday, November the 14th. And we've been having beautiful weather all week. And I'm just basking in this weather and I'm enjoying this weather. And I hope you're enjoying your weather. Hope you're enjoying your day. I just messed my nail up, y'all. Did y'all see me over here painting my nail? Look, I just messed it up. I have to go back over it. And I don't even know why I'm doing this because I have to get out of here anyway and probably go mess with these children. I'm going to mess my nail up, man. This nail polish is nicht gut. Es ist nicht gut. That means it is not good. Um, es ist nicht gut. It is not good. If you ever want to say I don't know in German, you would say, if you want to tell someone I don't know, you say ich weiß nicht. That means I don't know. And if you want to say I have no clue, you say ich habe keine Ahnung. That means I have no clue. I have no clue what you're talking about. Okay? I don't know. Yeah, yeah. But so one of the teachers reached out to me today, and one of the teachers reached out to me, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? No, yesterday, because I had half a day yesterday. So one of the teachers from the other schools reached out to me yesterday and called me early in the AM when I was getting ready to leave. And they were like, yes, yeah, I'm looking for Miss G. And I said, this is she. And they were like, we wanted to know if you'll be available for today. We know it's short notice, so even if you get here a little late, that'll be fine. We have a need, for a staff member. Do you have, some availability today? And I was like, no, unfortunately, I'm going to be at a different school today. So I opted to have, so they got Lyft coming out here to pick somebody up, y'all. Do y'all know these high schoolers be taking Ubers home? It must be nice. You're driving lonesome stuff. It must be nice. High schoolers, they get Ubered home. When I was in high school, either we caught the bus or we had to get a ride. Because if we missed the bus, we had to get a ride home. It was horrible. Or you could walk, and it was too far for us to walk, y'all. But these children out here, man, in today's time, they got DoorDash, they got Uber. They don't encyclopedia. What's a freaking encyclopedia, y'all? What's that? When they got Google. And they don't even know how to really Google for real, for real. They don't know how to research using Google for real. For they just be lazy, y'all. They don't even some of them don't even use their brains to think. They got a brain and don't even use it. It's a shame. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of these children, y'all keep getting fooled and tricked because they got these little quote unquote special titles. They are not that special. I'm gonna tell you that now. They just have behavior issues. That's what they have. They got behavior issues, which means they need to be disciplined. That's all that is. Because we didn't have all these titles when I was coming up. We didn't have all this leeway about, oh yeah, we're gonna pull them out of the class every 20 minutes. Here's somebody getting pulled. We got a special group for them. They're gonna come with us for 20 minutes a day, and we're gonna sit with them and do all. No, no, y'all need discipline, y'all. I found out that one of the boys, well, he is autistic. I know that for a fact. The teacher left me a note. So apparently, his father got killed about 2 weeks ago, y'all, in a double homicide, and it made the news. I didn't know it. So one of the teachers was asking about him, and I said, "Well, he's doing okay, even though he's got whatever going on with him." he's going to be doing his own thing anyway because he's autistic. So, I mean, as long as he wasn't a bother, I'm like, he's fine. But the only thing is, he runs off. So, he's a runner. So, we were coming back from lunch. I saw him at the table. So, I told the children, go line up outside. So, he got up. He was walking with the class, y'all. So then we turned down the hallway. I saw him continue to walk down the hallway. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, he's about to turn around and come back with the class. So we continue down the hallway. I'm monitoring everybody. I'm counting them, making sure I have everyone. We get in class. We're having class. I get a call from the front office. I answer the call. Miss G, do you have such and such in your class? So I'm looking, like, where is he? They were like, oh, he's at the cafeteria. I'm like, no, he's not in the cafeteria. The children are trying to tell me he's still in the cafeteria. No, he's not because he was walking down the hall with us. I remember seeing him. He was in the back of the line walking with the group. But you know what? He must have wandered off from the line, y'all. So I felt kind of bad, but one of the staff members stuff and she said, oh, you don't have to worry about him, he's going home for the day. So I was trying to explain what happened. She said, don't worry about it, he does this all the time, y'all. So y'all, you just got to be careful with these children because they will wander off. All right, usually I don't have that issue, but he must have wandered off from the group when we were in the hallway, and I assumed that he was following us and was going to turn around and come back with us, but he did not do that. And then he's like a little hypersensitive too. And I don't know if he's verbal. I think he is verbal because I heard him try to call my name earlier, so he can talk, but he likes to cry out a lot. Yeah, that's how he likes to get attention. And so when we were at recess earlier, the teacher said that they all supposed to take their lunch to recess. So as they all took their lunch to recess, they set their lunches and everything on the bench outside, and they went to go play on the playground. So some little bad boy from another class, I think it was, I don't know, some type of special needs boy was out there. And I kept hearing the boy in my class crying and crying and crying. So I'm looking at him. He's real cute, but he just, he got his own little thing going on. So he's looking at me crying, crying, crying. I'm like, I try not to feed into like that type of behavior because you actually encourage the behavior when you feed into it. So I was telling him, I said, nope, we're not doing all that crying. I like for the children to use their words. That's the same thing I used to tell my nephew. Use your words. We're not doing all that whining, especially as a boy, y'all. So, and he can talk, but what he was upset about is some little boy, little rude bad boy, comes over to their bench where their table is and starts messing with the children's lunches and stuff. So I had to chastise that boy. I said, leave their lunches alone, leave their stuff alone. If that's not your stuff, get away from the table. And I heard the little girl trying to tell the boy to stop. I'm like, you get away. And then he kept coming over there messing with somebody's lunchables. I saw him try to open the lunchables, so I'm like, well, maybe that's his stuff. Then saw him go to somebody's fruit cup and try to open it. I said, put that down. And then I realized what the issue was. So he had opened this boy's Gatorade and had taken a big sip out of the boy's Gatorade and put it back on the table, and the boy was just crying. I was like, I said, leave his stuff alone. So I tried to take the bottle of Gatorade from him, right? But he didn't want me to take the Gatorade. I'm like, sweetheart, you cannot drink this. He just drunk it out of this bottle. We need to pour this out. You don't want to catch, if he's sick, you don't want to catch something from him because he's drinking out of your drink. I said, we'll get you another juice from the classroom. Because when class started, they were bringing in Capri Suns, snacks, all types of stuff. So I'm asking the staff, I'm like, oh, but they're having a party today? No, something about the fact that they have snack time, y'all. So I guess they doing all this for snack time. So guess what happens after I pick them up from PE? Snack time. And that's probably going to be a big ordeal for them. Do you really think they're going to feel like dealing with math after snack time? Man, these children are done for. Like their energy level and their mental capacity to focus on math, which really all they're doing today is tracing their numbers. I thought they were in first grade. They're kindergartners. So they're tracing their numbers and stuff like that. So just real basic stuff. But y'all, the more that you can prepare these children before they get into kindergarten, the better off they are, because you're setting your child up for success when you prepare them before they get to kindergarten. Because if they get to kindergarten and they're not learning, or they're struggling, they can't focus, they can't concentrate, that really doesn't help them, especially if you know your child has these behavior issues, as far as them not sitting still, not concentrating, not focusing, continuing to be a disturbance, keep talking. A lot of that stuff is disciplinary. I know they keep saying, oh, they have an what they call an IEP and all of this. Mm-mm. One of the teachers even said it walking down the hallway. She said one of those boys kept talking. I said, he's been doing that all day. She said, yeah, I know he's special, but he ain't that special. I said, because I don't believe it either. I think they put these titles on these children. And unfortunately, because these children have these titles placed on it, they overhear conversations that adults are having. They hear their parents talking, and they basically feed into these things. They feed into the behaviors that are placed upon them. So I think it's really important not to handicap them with these titles, y'all, and just to treat them like, as normal as possible, and expect them to be, have those standards of not being a disturbance, have the expectation that they will function like they're supposed to and behave the way they're supposed to. Not saying, oh, well, he has this and he has that, because then you start making excuses, which means that the child feels like, oh, I can act up in class. Nope, we're not having that. And I don't feed into the behaviors, because these children know enough. They're intelligent enough to know better, y'all. That's what I be talking about, because when you start it now, they continue to do it, and it continues to follow them all the way up, to first, second, third grade, fourth grade, and they continue to keep, falling into these behaviors. So the more these parents come pick these children up, the better off I will feel. All right. So I got about 8 more minutes before I go back in here, y'all. I've just been, rambling a little bit. Didn't really have a set topic. Just wanted to sign on and talk to y'all. I thank y'all for listening, for rocking out with me. Red, burn a red candle. Pink is good for friendship. Red is good for romance. Yellow is also good for friendship as well. Green is good for money. If you have a money burning candle, if you want to manifest these things into your life, do it when the hands on the clock are pointing upward. If you want to manifest these things into your life, not downward, you can even do it according to the moon phases as well. Burn your candles according to the moon phases, right? You have the full moon and the waxing and the waning and the new moon, all of that. If you don't believe that people do that, politicians do it all the time. Celebrities do it all the time. I know they say we're not supposed to, oh, that's my timer, fall into these spiritual practices, but guess what? Our ancestors were doing this a long time ago, way before, these people tried to introduce it into our world. Hoodoo, voodoo, all that stuff, they've been doing that stuff. They've been doing it. And as a matter of fact, that's how in 1804, that's how the Haitians gained some of their freedom and fought, because they were doing those practices. They actually put muzzles on people because they didn't want them speaking, because we know that words are power, words are spells, and they didn't want people. Hi. They didn't want people utilizing spells over the slave master, y'all. So that's why they put muzzles on their mouths. That is a real thing. Go research it. I got okay, it's 109. No time for fake ones. So I got 6 minutes, y'all. 6 more minutes before I'll be back in here. And then I'll be headed on out. Um, taking them back to class and getting on with my day, y'all. Hot like fire. I'm gonna take you higher. You can't resist when way. All right, y'all. Well, anyway, I've been on here long enough. I don't really have much to talk about. Maybe I'll do F Your Feelings Friday later on if I'm up to it, if I got the energy, if I got the time. We'll see, y'all. I'll just be so busy having so much to do. But thank y'all so much for tuning in, for rocking out. Like, share, subscribe if you like my energy. I know I didn't really have a set topic, but y'all, at least I came on here to say hi to y'all. So appreciate me for that. I don't want to take this big bag back in here. I think I'm gonna just get my key. Let me get my key out of here. That's what I'm gonna do. And then head back in here. We don't have much longer, for real, for real. Let's see, earlier I wasn't looking for the key and I could find it. Now I can't. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Yep. Got the key. So yeah, I'm gonna leave everything else in here. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, in my white tee. You said sorry I couldn't text. I hope you have a good day. No problem, Lonesome Dove. Your safety comes first, okay? Um, so yeah, I will tune in with y'all later, y'all. Just wanted to tap in. Y'all have a prosperous Friday. Have a nice weekend if I don't hear y'all or y'all don't tune in with me later. And just have a very safe Friday. Enjoy your Friday, y'all. Stay blessed, all right? Continue to walk into your divinity. Until next time, y'all stay blessed.